Good Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with best-selling author Karen Kingsbury. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy our program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In international news, civilians rescued from Mariupol steel plant head for safety. Russia resumed pulverizing the Mariupol steel mill that has become the last stronghold of resistance in the bombed-out city, Ukrainian fighters said on Monday that their brief ceasefire over the weekend allowed the first evacuation of civilians from the plant. More than 100 people, including elderly women and mothers with small children, left the rebel-strewn steelworks on Sunday and set out in buses and ambulances for the Ukrainian-controlled city about 140 miles to the northwest, according to authorities and video released by the two sides. Mariupol deputy mayor told the BBC that the evacuees were making slow progress and would probably not arrive in the other city on Monday as hoped. Authorities gave no explanation for the delay. At least some of the civilians were apparently taken to a village controlled by Russia-backed separatists. The Russian military said that some chose to stay in separatist areas, while dozens left for Ukrainian-held territory. In the past, Ukraine has accused Moscow's troops of taking civilians against their will to Russia or Russia-controlled areas. The Kremlin has denied it. The Russian bombardment of the sprawling plant by air, by tank, and by ship picked up again after the partial evacuation. The steel plant evacuation, if successful, would represent rare progress in easing the human cost of the almost 10-week war, which has caused particular suffering in Mariupol. Previous attempts to open safe corridors out of the southern port city and other places have broken down, with Ukrainian officials accusing Russian forces of shooting and shelling along agreed-upon evacuation routes. Before the weekend evacuation, overseen by the United Nations and the Red Cross, about 1,000 civilians were believed to be in the plant, along with an estimated 2,000 Ukrainian defenders. Russia has demanded that the fighters surrender. They have refused. As many as 100,000 people overall may still be in Mariupol, which had a pre-war population of more than 400,000. Russian forces have pounded much of the city into rubble, trapping civilians with little food, water, heat, or medicine. Some Mariupol residents got out of the city on their own by way of often damaged private cars. In national news, NYPD veteran convicted of assaulting officer in Capitol riot. A federal jury on Monday convicted a New York Police Department veteran of assaulting an officer during the U.S. Capitol riot, rejecting his claim that he was defending himself when he tackled the officer and grabbed his gas mask. Thomas Webster, a 20-year NYPD veteran, was the first Capitol riot defendant to be tried on an assault charge and the first to present a jury with a self-defense argument. Jurors deliberated for less than 3 hours before they convicted Webster of all 6 charges in his indictment, including a charge that he assaulted a Metropolitan Police Department officer with a dangerous weapon, a metal flagpole. The assault charge alone is punishable by up to 20 years in prison, although sentencing guidelines likely will recommend a significantly shorter prison term. In more national news, arrest warrant issued in Alabama for missing jail official. Authorities issued an arrest warrant Monday for a jail official who they say helped an inmate awaiting trial on a murder charge to escape from an Alabama jail. A search was on for the pair. Inmate Casey Cole White, 38, was shackled and handcuffed when he and Vicki White, the facility's assistant director of corrections, left the Lauderdale County Detention Center in Florence, Alabama on Friday morning. They have not been seen since, although the patrol vehicle that the pair used when leaving the detention center was found at a nearby shopping center parking lot after their absence was discovered. Authorities have no idea where they are, although the inmate should be recognizable, says the Associated Press, by his size. He stands 6 foot 9 inches tall and weighs about 260 pounds. Authorities warn that anyone seeing the pair should not approach them. In entertainment news, the Judge Ray Charles joined the Country Music Hall of Fame. Ray Charles and the Judge joined the Country Music Hall of Fame on Sunday in a ceremony filled with tears, music, and laughter just a day after Naomi Judd died unexpectedly. The loss of Naomi Judd altered the normally celebratory ceremony, but the music played on as the genre's singers and musicians mourned the country legend. Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood, Vince Gill, and many more performed their hit songs. Naomi and Wynonna Judd were among the most popular duos of the 1980s, scoring 14 number 1 hits, during their nearly three-decade career. And finally, in business news, late tech rally leaves Wall Street indexes modestly higher. A late afternoon turnaround led by technology stocks left major indexes moderately higher on Wall Street Monday, averting more losses for the market following a brutal April in which widespread tech sell-offs dragged down major benchmarks. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Like is always drawn to like. This is one of God's biggest truths. It has been around since the beginning of time. You attract what you are. When you project positivity into your world, you attract positive people and situations into your life. If you want to attract love into your life, show love to yourself as you share kindness with others. People who see these characteristics in you will be drawn to you because they subconsciously see themselves in you. As you become acquainted with these people, they will have an important impact on your life. Others will know they can rely on you to add brightness to their lives. They will be compelled to seek you out because they understand the light they see in you is also in them. Today, express to yourself all the good you wish to attract from others. And as always, enjoy the day.
We have part of my conversation coming up with best-selling author Karen Kingsbury in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Entertainment Spotlight. Best-selling author Karen Kingsbury stopped by Conversations Live, the radio show, to discuss her literary journey. Here's a bit of our conversation.
I think the thing about you that people love is that your stories are entertaining, they're relatable, and I think they do help us in looking at life, in a totally different way. I mean, I've heard your work referred to as life-changing fiction, and I believe that is so true. What has that been like for you to see the way that your words have impacted others?
Well, it's funny. I look at how Jesus interacted with people when he was on earth, and how when he wanted to tell you something straight, he would just tell you straight. When he wanted to make a point, he might turn over a table. But when he wanted to touch your heart, he would tell a story. And I think the thing that story has the power to do is it comes in through the back door of the heart. So our guard is down, we're not defensive, we're just like, okay, I just want this really entertaining read. I'm laughing, I'm crying, but you get to that last page and you go, wow, I think God's saying something to me too. And it happened naturally. It happened just, kind of organically through the pages of the story. And that, I hear people coming up to me at lines at events that I speak at, and they'll come up and tell me, gosh, your book saved my marriage, or it brought me back to God. And I always think only God could do that. So, it's a really powerful thing to be a little piece of that process.
The scriptures talk to us, Karen, about gifts in men. And you definitely have a gift. Have you always been able to embrace that gift and realize the impact of it?
Well, I always loved writing. I started writing when I was 5. So for sure, God gave me that gift to write. And I just had the desire to write books and to tell stories all, through my days of growing up. But I didn't become a believer with a relationship with Jesus until I was in my mid-20s. And so it was after that. By then I was a journalist. So after once I was a Christian and I got married and we began to have kids, and I just knew God was calling me to write stories that would change people.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back to get on tomorrow's more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host Cyrus Webb saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a good one.